How we doing there, boys and girls? Manthieus here, welcome back to another video. So today I wanted to spend a couple of minutes just talking about one very key item. This is going to be a key item for both crafters and also anybody out there that wants a piece of endgame crafted gear. Yes, we're talking about the Spark of Ingenuity. This is going to be a reagent that is going to be needed in practically every single endgame piece of gear. If we take a quick look at just leatherworking, for example, as it happens to be on this character. I've not unlocked much on this character. This is on the beta leveling servers. But you can see here, just for an example, a flame touch chainmail. Spark of Ingenuity is one of the key components here, along with a multitude of other items. We found out in an interview the other day with one of the developers responsible for putting together the profession system for Dragonflight that these things are going to be pretty time-gated. Your access to these Sparks of Ingenuity are going to be very carefully managed. We were informed that we're going to get one pretty quickly once we ding level 70, once you've completed the main campaign, which is, let's be real here, not going to take people all that long. You'll get your first Spark of Ingenuity, but you're probably unlikely to get the next one until you're able to, well, second reset, when you're able to step foot into the raid, when you're able to go start doing Mythic Plus, practically when the season starts, when season 1 of Dragonflight starts, that's when the next quest line is going to unlock, so you can get your second Spark of Ingenuity. And from that point on, it's about a 2-week duration between getting each one of these. This is going to have, I feel, and what I wanted to talk about today, some pretty drastic knock-on effects to how crafting is going to play out. Anytime we see a material or a component being time-gated in this fashion, it's usually because Blizzard wants to be very careful about how much people are able to progress their gearing. We know already that crafted gear is designed to be that little bit of a catch-up system. It always kind of has been, but they wanted to push it a little bit further in Dragonflight. They wanted to make the crafting system almost feel like the fourth pillar of play. We have Mythic Plus, we have the raid, we have the PvP aspects of the game, and they wanted crafting to really stand out as a fourth pillar of play. The risk with that, though, the significant risk and the things that people were very vocal about in the beginning of the development of Dragonflight was that they don't want it to become super pay to win. They don't want crafting to be that thing that, oh, you just go blow a bunch of gold by buying a bunch of tokens, you fill yourself up with crafted gear, and then you just go one-shot all of the bosses in the game. They didn't want that to be the case, and I think this Spark of Ingenuity is one of a few systems that Blizzard's going to be implementing to make this a reality. The reason I think that this might be quite important to how the crafting system plays out is mainly because of the way that players tend to engage with these time-gated systems. We know that if every single player that hits level 70 and completes the campaign get access to only one Spark of Ingenuity before the season starts, before the raid comes out, most of those players are going to be very careful about spending it. They're going to understand, or hopefully the plan of action is that Blizzard will make it apparent that these are scarce, these are limited. You can see in the background here, this is the little area that you'll come to and start the quest line for these. The inspiration, what is it called? I can't remember the exact name of it, but it's in to the eastern part of Valdrakken. This is where you're going to come and start a quest line, and you're going to... It's quite spoilerific, so I won't go into too much detail, but the essence of this is that as weeks go on, you'll get further quests that will be in this location, and you power this thing up. You get these goblins to do their goblin things, and you power this up, and this is what creates these Sparks of Ingenuity. They're time-gating this very much so. One a week for the first week. You're not going to get your second one until the season starts, and then only one additional one every 2 weeks. Not even one per week, only one for every second week of play. This is going to mean that we'll only have access to 5 of these Sparks of Ingenuity after after sort of 8 weeks, which is the sort of time frame where things like the creation catalyst kick in and the catch-up system starts to kick in. players are going to be very careful about how they spend these. And this leads me to the conclusion that considering we're able to make weapons in Dragonflight, blacksmiths are the big candidate for this, although there are some other professions that dabble in weapons. Inscription, for example, makes two-handed staves. Both leatherworking and engineering are responsible for making guns and bows. There's lots of professions out there that dip their toes in the water a little bit, but blacksmiths are the big ones. Blacksmiths might have an absolute field day with this, but why weapons though? Well, when a system is restricted, when a system is limited, it tends to be that people would much rather, given the choice, have a weapon. Go back in history a little bit. Go back to Shadowlands where we had all the legendaries and everybody spent countless hours trying to work out, well, what is the best slot for my legendary to go in, because you could only have one legendary equipped. In Dragonflight, it's a similar but different story, but with weapons being added into the mix, it gives me a sneaky suspicion that many players are going to, if not their first weapon, very close to their first weapon, first piece of crafted gear, I should say, is going to be a weapon. My little tier list that I did a week or so ago, a couple of weeks ago at this point actually, highlighted blacksmithing as what I considered an S tier profession in Dragonflight. And this only goes to solidify my early thoughts. Those blacksmiths, if you get those blacksmiths leveled up, there's likely to be by, what is it, December the 12th, I think it's December the 12th when the season opens. There could be many people waiting for that, to get that second spark of ingenuity to craft themselves a big meaty two-handed weapon to head off into the raid with. So let me know what you think about this. Do you think that the pace of these is going to be too slow? Do you think that we're going to be seeing a severe lack of engagement with the crafting system because of this? It does, you know, in many cases mean that crafters will probably be way ahead of the game. Couple of weeks in, it would not surprise me if you start to see certain crafters unlocking a bunch of different recipes, not only through their specializations, but maybe they've had time to do the rep grinds. They're going to be able to juggle 3, 4, 5 different endgame recipes. Is there going to be a lack of people actually putting in work orders for this? It's going to be really difficult to sort of predict. But I do think the time gating on this spark of ingenuity is going to have big impacts on the way that the pacing of crafted gear plays out in Dragonflight. But let me know your thoughts. I'm always interested to hear. I think that blacksmithing is going to be in a really strong position because most people are probably going to want a, you know, a nice, powerful and crafted two-handed weapon given the choice. But, you know, there are some cleverer people out there for sure. If you are one of those big endgame raiders that really enjoys min-maxing your class, and please let me know what your thoughts are on this. The more, you know, the more viewpoints, the more opinions we can get, the easier it is to try and work out what might happen. Not that it really matters, but that's the fun aspect of the game for me. That's the element of it that I really enjoy. The speculation and the trying to work out what's what. But I'll leave it there for today, boys and girls. I don't want these videos to be too long. I'm actually working on a lot of the leveling guides for Dragonflight right now. The profession leveling guides. I want to make sure that by the launch, I have a profession leveling guide for every one of the professions in Dragonflight. So you know exactly how to get leveled up nice and quickly. I'm working on those. I've been busy bee all day working on those. So stay tuned for those. Make sure you've hit that subscribe button. But like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new around here, boys and girls. And I'll catch you all next time. Peace.